Hello folks, and welcome back to the channel. This is me, Farmer EnvoyXtreme, and here are episode 4 of the Let's Play series on Elmcreek on Farm Simulator 22. If this is what you're looking for, then please stay tuned. Good morning folks, so here we are back on Elmcreek, and as you can see we've been busy. We've released some equipment, we've released the forage harvester which is driven by the AI, as you can tell by the jerkiness on the steering. Also we've released the not the beet technology, and to be honest we didn't have to send back the horn topper. So for some reason I thought it was like specialised to a certain crop type, but no it isn't. Which makes sense because they do exactly the same job, which is remove the toppers and not the actual crop itself. So yeah, a bit of an F on my part there. And overall, it actually didn't cost us that much. We got some money from the biogas plant. Actually, it was more than what I thought it was, because obviously after we ended, we sort of fast forward a little bit, and we got a couple of grand from the biogas plant. And that counts as a harvest income when you look at the finances. But yeah, I think yeah, got about 6-8 grand from that. So that's giving me optimism when we do the silage here. So what we're going to do here is going to get us back to the farm, and then we'll get to work, I think. Oops. AI sowing down there. So obviously get the beets done, and then of course we didn't harvest the rest of the corn. Now I forgot to do that, or the beets. I think actually no, we did harvest the beets. I didn't do the second though. So yeah, bit of a F there because we do have 2 beet fields, right? Yeah, 1 and 2. So obviously, oof. Gave it a bit of a boost there. Sorry about that. Generally scared me there. So yeah, let's get back to the farm, get everything set up, and then we'll go from there, I think. folks, here we are, and yeah, we've been a bit busy. We did corn chaff and that, and we've put into silo and fermented it. One thing that we did was put a silage additive in it, which we didn't do initially, and that is because, well, simply I forgot about it, and I realised that actually when I did my silage video that having the additive gives you a 5% yield bonus, and that is roughly about right what I got. In my own testing, I got about 4 to 5% yield bonus, and some of that could have been the mitigating factors. But yeah, so we've got the beet harvest to do, and I'm thinking, should we just go ahead and buy the beet carts? Because I think that would be really beneficial to us, as you'll see later on in this episode. That yeah, it does prove actually substantially beneficial, but yeah, also we need to think about obviously when it comes to selling stuff and that, like our honey, Christ, that is a big pile, and that's going to get bigger and bigger as we go along. Especially we're on was it 3 or 6 seasons we're running, and yeah, that's a lot of honey. So I was thinking of what we could get. I wouldn't get the DPW 180 if we have to get something. Nice little setup there. Ideally, I want something like the base game trade that we get with the pickup sometimes that we ran with at the start of the series, and or the that blue loader one on that one that goes onto the back. But yeah, there's a few options for us to do. There's the herbicide over there, that's from last episode I think it was. So yeah, as we go over here, and I don't think it will show how much we've got in here. No, we're not, because usually even when you cover the site it tells you how much is in there, but we've got about 89 or so thousand litres of chaff in there for silage, and that is because well, it's just simply off running things, because I don't know when it's going to be ready to harvest our other crop in that. Hopefully it's very soon. It's not today. If it was today that would have been ready to harvest, but my just thinking is let's just hope it's tomorrow. If we have to wait until the end of October, then that's a lot of leasing costs that we don't really need. And also, obviously, we got the cotton harvester as well. We got that to do the cotton, and we did a section of cotton at our field over here, and we only got about 2,000 litres. So when you take into all the costs in that of leasing it, that costed us what, 24 grand? And that's perhaps I will show you in a moment that yeah, that's not very profitable, because obviously the cost of cotton is it's okay, it's actually a good price at the moment, but yeah, just simply it's one of those things where I need to do another field, which I will in a bit go over a bit more. But yeah, so we've got a decent amount of chaff in that, and that will help us in the long run of things. Obviously we can use that to make TMR, but I think as we go down the line I might just buy TMR for the next year. Obviously not getting much milk at the moment, I've realised that, and that could be down to a couple of factors, such as, yeah, I don't know, I've got to look into the cows a bit more. But yeah, so as we're going to go over here, we're going to have a look at the Case 635. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, this is a very good piece of equipment. Obviously, ideally I'd like to go into John Deere, so it's more capacity, 10,000 litres compared to what this has got, 20,000. And yeah, just look at the price of cotton at the moment, it's 3 grand per 1,000 litres, so not too bad of a price. Obviously you saw that now we'll get 6 grand, so 6 over 24. Yeah, that's not profitable for us, we're making a loss on that. So what my thinking is going to be is if we go ahead and buy another field, we'll get an extra loan. Obviously we can have up to, I think it's $500,000. I don't think the values will have changed because obviously we're still in the first year, but yeah, get one of these two fields, either this field over here, or I think we'll go for one up north, just off the highway there. That's because it's bigger and that'll give us a better chance of actually getting a decent amount of yield. So yeah, what we're going to do, we're going to increase the load even more, and thinking, where should we stop? Should we hit there? Yes. make it a good old even 400 grand, I think. So yeah, we're going to buy this field, and always once we're done with it, we are going to sell it. Yes, it's a bit cheeky of us, but yeah, sort of. Actually looking at the harvesting states, we could do a soybean field, perhaps. That's an option for us. But yeah, so looking at that cotton field, I don't think that's going to be ready till at least 2 days from now, 2-3 days from now. So also we've got the little Landini over here with the weight and the beet cutter, and this is a nice little cute little setup over here we got. I'm going to try to get a worker doing this, and it is not working. Cuts it if we drive it ourselves, but same tool is attached incorrectly. Oops, didn't mean to do that. So then I guess we got to put the beet cutter at the front and the weight at the back. Yeah, it makes more sense than that, but yeah, we didn't have any issues when we did it in that episode with the potatoes, because we just running that the opposite way around to this. But well, folks, I don't really know what's going on there, so yeah. I think what we'll do now is we'll just go ahead and get this cut. So let's go over here. Let's go and lower this. No, not light. So yeah, there we go. And yeah, it does a little decent speed, 10 miles an hour. And I did a few, or several passes actually, and that is because of just simply the fact that sorry, the train of thought there. So yeah, just a simple way of going about things. If you do a few passes, then when we call your worker, then we don't have to worry about it clashing. Ideally, I'll have it all in one, so one truck does the horn topper and the harvesting. But as we learned with the spuds and that, yeah, that just doesn't work out well. It was even awkward pass marks where it wasn't getting to the full edge of the field, even when there's nothing physically restricting it, like a tree, a river, or anything. It was just simply, yeah. Also, actually, we did these, I forgot to say this, we released the cotton wheelie grab, and that is because obviously to pick up the cotton, do have a semi little trailer thing that we can use to transport 2 bales of cotton, but just for what we've got with the setup, and to be honest, I don't really want to get a truck. If I was going to get a truck, I'll get the MAN truck or MAN truck. And that's just simply because of the Mack trucks being just, yeah, so unreliable when it comes to putting down the power. And actually, there was someone, I think it was, who was it? I was watching a Mississippi stream on the other day, as I was recording this, and yeah, he sort of demonstrated that for some reason that one of the wheels actually spins. So, oh, it spin backwards, should I say? So, as your thought wheels go forward to spin, obviously get grip in that, but then obviously there's a slip where the I think it's the third wheel from the front is spinning backwards, or the third axle. So yeah, we've got the trailer over here, and this is a very tight little setup over here, and as you'll come to see, it is not really great, just because of the height of the piping on the harvester, and we can't extend that. So as you'll perhaps see whilst we progress here, we're going to hit it a few times. So yeah, we're going to turn around, let the harvester turn around here. So yeah, actually, you know what? We're just going to end up and take it ourselves, because for some reason, yeah, I don't know why the workers take so long to turn around. That's where most of the cost is wasted. Obviously, there's a cost of them running in straight lines and that, but the amount of time they're taking to turn around, Christ, sometimes. As well, it's just with this setup we're running, it's like every, I think it's like 95% of a single pass. We're having to empty this, and oh, wrong way to empty it. We'll empty it on the right hand side, not the left. So yeah, as you can see here, go to the cab. Let's try to do it this proper, because I do like when we're running cabinet, it sort of adds that kind of realism and that sort of in depth, but yeah, you just see like how we're constantly fighting and trying to get the there. Oh, nope, there we go. We try to get the trailer underneath the pipe and that, and yeah. So yeah, I do love the details of just with FS22, all the things that's happened, like the current textures. Obviously, with you watching this back, yeah, because I've watched my last few episodes back after it's up and that, and don't know why there's like a weird high contrast to it. Obviously, I add contrast to my thumbnails just to make it pop in that, but when I'm playing on this, when I'm recording live, sort of the whole picture quality is a bit low, well, lower than it is now. It's not too dark, but it's not too bright either. So I've upped the brightness a little bit, but then when it comes to recording, perhaps it's something to do with the HDR in the PlayStation. But yeah, also, since we're hire workers and I'm thinking, if we do this entire field over here, that I think the general cost of the worker is going to be in 10 grand region, I think, to be honest. 10 plus grand to hire workers just to do this field over here. That's not including the potatoes that we did in the last episode, in the last month. But yeah, so I think what I'm going to do now is we're just going to continue on here, and I've rammed on a bit. So yeah, we'll get some of this done and then we'll come back in a moment. So yeah, folks, here we are, and at the end I sort of admitted to defeat, and I thought, yeah, let's go and get a trailer, a proper Beets trailer, perhaps that would help, obviously, with different clearance levels in there. And simple answer is, it hasn't really helped out much, but obviously we've released this, so much more trying to make use of it. It's got 50,000 litre capacity, of course less horsepower than the one that was on sale at, was it 60% off for 40 grand. But you can see here we're sort of struggling with collisions and that, so we're trying to think of if we can try different things. Try to put the pipe out, try to put the pipe in, and yeah, sort of running on this side doesn't really work unless the way it work is like here where it sort of goes through a bit sometimes, but yes, if you get nailed down perfectly, like here, as we're doing now, that is nice and perfect, but however, we got to turn around and that, so yeah, it doesn't really work out quite well for us. So the only way this would really work out well for us if we came the opposite direction, so for that to happen, if we're going to try to reverse it in a straight line, which would not work, and yeah, so for example, when it's like stopped like this, when it's full, perhaps approach it and then it'll empty and fine, because obviously it's a little ledge on our right hand side. But yeah, I'm just going to let this worker turn around. Yeah, perhaps I will say in advance that this episode will be more time-lapse based than I would usually do. Usually in the time-lapse, when I do time-lapse here, so I sort of try to say, for example, this episode is going to be about 35 minutes long, give or take. And this show is going to be about 45 minutes, but obviously because of audio issues, I had to cut out 10 minutes of footage in that and speed things up here and there. But yeah, because obviously we're doing the same thing over and over again, and as much as I perhaps would love to chat for 20 minutes straight, which I initially did, until I realised the audio was all screwed up on this recording. But yeah, so we're just going to continue on here and have some fun. But yeah, I think in terms of yielding, I think we'll get about, if I had to guess, based on what we've got at the moment, based on what we've done thus far, I'll say about somewhere close to 500,000 litres. And if you look at some of the prices at the moment, it's about 300, 400 pounds per 1,000 litres. So yeah, that is a lot of cash, which will be very good for the farm when we sell it in January. That's when it's going to be the best time to sell it. So yeah, once again folks, we're going to do another little short time lapse here, and then I think I'll bring it back folks when it's round about evening time, I think. So yeah, we'll get this done and I'll see you folks in a short moment. Alrighty then folks, so here we are, it's just gone 7, and yeah, I think we've done a reasonable job here. It's part 1 of what is going to be a part 2 episode, and yeah, well, part 2 harvest should I say. So yeah, we've tried to do some fertilizing, get the contract done, but we've run out of fertilizer, so we need to buy that. Money's gone up a little bit by 20 or so grand. That is because we sold the pickup truck, We don't really be using that much, so I thought, you know what, just sell it, 20 grand, that can cover the workers' wages, because, yeah, these workers cost quite a bit, and so far we've got 21,000 years in the trader, and how much we've got in the silo? Another 250,000, and I didn't realise this, we've got access to the sugar plant. And sugar is at the moment at its best price ever, so we have a look here. Yeah, 1800 per 1,000 litres at the dairy plant, or 1700 at the bakery, 1700 at the fast food restaurant. So yeah, October in, and it's at its peak. Well, it peaked in September, but yeah, so I'm thinking let's quickly get this harvested on tomorrow. Actually, we'll do it tonight, I think. Get some sugar in the sugar mill, because in the sugar mill, if you have a look in our production chains, what's it? Yeah, so 500 litres of sugar beets produces 250 litres of sugar itself, or we could do sugar beets cut, or sugar cane. And to be honest, to be honest, we could try that, because we don't lose anything. When we cut it, we don't lose anything, we just get more sugar, so perhaps what we could do is have like a little conveyor system, but again, that's just going to be costing money and that, which we don't really have, to be honest, folks. So we got to, yeah, down here to the auger belt system. Yeah, 14.5. How much is that to lease? 739. Take it up there. Then what we could do is sort of unload it to a big pile, then get a dealership. A telehandler. Oh no, we can't, because it's only accessible for the front loaders for the Ruby legal beet cutter thing. So that's out of the question. Other thing that's come up, not so good and that. So yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Tonight off camera, I'll put sugar that we've got here into the sugar mill. Then tomorrow, when we continue on with the episodes, or next episode should I say, sorry, yeah, we'll get this finished. In terms of what we've actually done so far, have a look here. So go down here, so I'll say we've done about half the fields, nearly, well I'll say about half, give or take. And then I've got to work at the moment doing the last bits of the foliage removal, hence why the money's still going down. So yeah, that is going to be it for me today. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If so, consider smashing that button. Feel free to comment down below. If you want to share, so please be my guest. Not subscribed to the channel yet, then please consider. But, whatever you choose to do, hope everyone has a nice day. But for now, this is from EnvoyXtreme, and I'll see you all very soon.